Hi guys, it's me, Melissa. Time for daily draw. All right, today is the 10th. So February 10th, 2020 is your daily draw for today. I'm going to use the Druid Animal Oracle. And this one is illustrated by Will Worthington. And it is by Philip and Stephanie Carr Graham. This is a nice little deck. I haven't worked a lot with this deck yet. I'm just getting into some of the Druid stuff. So, like I said, I haven't worked with this card. This is let me see how many cards are in this deck. Might say in the beginning. I know there's not a lot of cards in here. I don't know if it says it or not. So it doesn't have anything in the back of the box. I know that there's not a lot of cards in this deck. Well, it doesn't say. 33. So, 33 cards in this deck. So let's get right to it. So here are the backs of the cards. I don't like that they put this copyright on the bottom of it. I'm thinking about trimming this deck and getting rid of the white borders on it. But I haven't really decided yet. So, but anyway, guys, I hope your day has been going good. Mine is. It was raining this morning when I went to work, but it's not now. It's going to be in the 40s today. So all the snow we got's going away. So, but anyway, let's get on with this. Angels, guides, spirits. Tell me what we need to know today, February 10th. And I'm not going to be able to riffle shuffle these. Tell me what we're going to need to know today, angels, guides, spirits, for February 10th for my viewers. Is there anything that we need to know today? Angels, guides, spirits, let me know what we need to know today. Our one card draw today. Card draw today. Angels, guides, spirits. Well, we got a card, guys. And I will be reading from this book since I don't know these cards very well. Today we have the Hare. Beautiful card. We have the Hare here with the rocks. We have the moon up here. We have eggs here. Some flowers. So let's see what this card's all about. Let's find the Hare. You know, out of this, I can't find it. $102. I wish these were in order, but they're not. So, Hare, rebirth, intuition, and balance. The card shows the original hare of Britain, the Arctic hare, which was later replaced by the common brown hare, probably imported by Romans from the plains of Central Europe. It is nearly dawn, but we can still see the moon in the sky. In the background stands a dolmen, symbol of rebirth. And in the foreground, we can see a lapwing's nest with the eggs, which were said to have been brought by the hare. Harebell, hare parsley, and harefoot's clover grow close by. The hare brings us the benefits of balance and intuition, of promise and fulfillment. The hare is a creature of the goddess, the moon, in the night, and yet it also represents the dawn, brightness, and the east. It is the most adept animal at shape-shifting. We can never be sure exactly where the hare is in this or the other world. It represents intuition, which makes things appear suddenly in our consciousness, like the lapwing eggs of Oystre, Eostre, that magically appear in the hare's form nest as representative of corn spirit and the two equinoxes. The hare brings the excitement of birth, fertility, abundance, and the willing release of each creative cycle comes to an end. With the hare as your ally, you will be well able to negotiate times of change, and you will be able to draw on your intuition to guide you through life. The traditions of the hare. Sorry, guys. I was just seeing there's quite a bit on here. Keen eyes, her hares, and hounds, blackberries, and fruit, and dark blackthorn, weaving their wall in the woods. The hare's habits of foraging and mating at night mean that human observation of its behavior has, until recently, been severely limited. People once believed that hares changed gender annually and that their frantic racing around and their peculiar boxing matches were confined to the month of March, hence the term Mad March hares. But we all know that this mating behavior takes place throughout the breeding season. Before March, it happens unseen before dawn. But later in the spring, the vegetation grows and their madness is again unnoticed by humans. When her daughters were disinherited by the local governor, Queen Boudicca, Queen Boudicca of the Iceni in eastern Britain, led to a revolt against the Romans, which almost succeeded in destroying their power. The classical writer Dion described how she used a hare to divine the outcome of her first battle. When she had finished speaking to her people, she employed a species of divination, letting a hare escape from the folds of her dress, and since it ran on what they considered the auspicious side, the whole multitude shouted with pleasure, and Boudicca raised her hand toward the heaven, said, "I thank thee, Ostrace, the goddess of battle and victory. I supplicate and pray thee for victory." In the old days, hares were animals sacred to the goddess. They brought luck, fertility, transformation, and healing. But as with other sacred animals, such as the cat and the snake, Christianity degraded and inverted their symbol. The close association between cats and hares is seen in their both having the nicknames of Pussy and Malkin. And in medieval times, it was commonly believed that witches could shapeshift or skin turn into hares to go milking at night or to travel over great distances. It is possible that the hare's parliament, in which hares sit in rings, reminded observers of the witch's circle, which each member of the ring being in reality a witch who has disguised herself as a hare. A hare's foot was often carried as protection against rheumatism, or by an actor to help him with shape-shifting into a role. But in Scotland, if a hare's foot was discovered on a fisherman's boat, it was considered a curse, and the word hare was never to be spoken at sea. Similarly, seeing a hare crossing one's path when setting out on a journey was considered unlucky. It was also believed that the fairies produced hare lips, or that a pregnancy, the mother had accidentally startled a hare. Okay. Rebirth, resurrection, and the corn spirit. As bearers of good fortune, and as animals sacred to the goddess hares, or figurines of them, have been found buried in ritual pits. As a grave companion, the hare is ideal, for it symbolizes the power of the goddess to bring rebirth and immortality. This power is often represented in the corn spirit, who embodied the magical ability of the life-sustaining crops to die in the fall, only to be reborn in the spring. The pagan underpinnings of Christianity became abundantly obvious at Elban Ealer, the spring equinox. Here, the hare is the original Easter bunny. The word Easter being derived from the Saxon goddess Eostre, to whom the hare was sacred. Hares sleep outdoors in forms which look remarkably like lapwings' nests. And in spring, when the nests are filled with eggs, it seems as if the hares have made them magically appear. They become the gifts of the sacred hare. As goddess, the hare has brought new life, rebirth, at the equinox. The Christianized version becomes the moon-determined time of Easter, when the appearance of bunnies and chocolate or painted eggs marks the time of the resurrection of Christ. The hare reappears again at the other side of the year, at the time of Alban Ilud, or the autumn equinox, when the promise of the spring is fulfilled in the autumn harvest. The last sheaf of corn to be cut was called the hare, and its ritual cutting, also known as killing or cutting a hare. If a hare happens to bolt out of this last sheaf as it was cut, this was considered extremely auspicious. Grandmother hare. Since the hare was sacred to the goddess and symbolic of corn spirit, eating it was taboo. In Kerry, they still said that to eat a hare is to eat one's grandmother. But like horsemen, hare flesh forbidden only in Britain and Ireland, except that the kings of Tara were allowed to eat the hares of Naas, Naas. In Gaul, the hare was the most popular of hunted animals. In Ulster, chasing the Cailleach, the hag goddess, was allowed immediately following the harvest. And in some parts of Britain, hare hunting was allowed on one day of Beltane. Hare coursing was a later introduction. probably of the Romans, but the image of the hare being pursued by the greyhound was powerfully invoked in the story of Taliesin, in which the fleeing Gwion, Gwion, turns himself into a hare to escape the goddess, Sheridan, who then shapeshift into a greyhound to continue her pursuit. Virtually impossible to raise in captivity, supremely fertile, the hare was caught, cries like a human child. In the Western tradition, and in many other traditions throughout the world, it is strongly associated with the moon, whiteness, dawn, and the east. Interesting. Like I said, I haven't worked that much with this deck. The hare was also called the Gearr, Gearr. So this is a card about rebirth, okay? Rebirth, your intuition, balance. So let's go into that. Rebirth. What have we talked about for the whole coming week? Learning about ourselves. So it's a rebirth in ourselves. We need to rebirth something. We need to find out who we are. We need to transform who we are so that we can be our higher selves, so we can have that higher being of ourselves, so that we can substantiate through life. So I think that's a good thing to do. Everybody has that rebirth thing in them. We all have that, where we grow, learn knowledge. We all get older, so we learn through our mistakes. We learn through everything. So that's a transformation of who we are. So guys, I hope this helps. I hope this helps you through your day. I love you guys. I want to thank you for all you do for me. If you like this and you want to see more, give me a thumbs up. Like my videos, watch my videos. And again, I have a Patreon page. It is under Mystical Melissa on Patreon. So if you want to join me on there, again, guys, I love you. Have a blessed day. I love you.